not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose.
Plane. Wendigo.
There we go. All right. Put the sound together. What's happening? Who in this comment? Y'all was up here early, boy. I was up here early. My boy Bruce Lee always in the building, man. Checking in. Ride chocolate. Peace and light. Top favorite in here. Solo 5000 was good, man. And listen, shouts out to everybody who's lighting that cash out. Y'all showed some love last week, man. I appreciate that. A couple people donated a couple dollars, and I greatly appreciate that. I'm gonna drop some in that cash out. Please feel free to do so. Also, I'm gonna have a presentation available for purchase. You already know how we do it. Send me $1, $2 cash app, drop your email in the cash app, and I'll email you the PowerPoint. Everybody did it before, tested it, right? Everybody who, well, not everybody, the last group who sent me the cash app and the email, you guys can bear witness that I kept my word and definitely emailed you guys that last outline, Abraham outline, which we got to get back to also. we're gonna get back to that about the Abraham outline, but you guys have the outline now, and we'll probably get into it next Sunday. There should be homework for everybody who got that email. If you didn't get the Abraham outline email, shoot me a cash app. $1, $2. Put your email address in the cash app. That's how I can identify who goes where to where. Also, it's allowed me to create a database to email you guys other information directly without making it public. To be private information. So definitely drop some change in that cash app. After you guys see the PowerPoint today, which you probably won't make it through the whole PowerPoint, but we're gonna make it through a good portion of the PowerPoint on today. So yeah, I'm gonna try to always have outlines of PowerPoints to show y'all. Draco, what's happening, my guy? Peace, peace, peace and light. Okay, Caribbean gal, MJ, peace and light. Be nice, peace, light, and I love it. I love it, man. And I love it when my people who know me show up. William the Slayer, peace. Robert Johnson, what's up, my boy? What's good with you, friend? True Treaty, peace. A couple of new people in here too. I gotta make sure I subscribe to that channel. What is it? What, you smoking? YouTube? Let me go over there right now. Subscribe to the channel. And for those of y'all who have YouTube channels, I'm gonna drop the YouTube channel in the chat. Definitely do that. We'll get everybody to rock with you probably. What you smoking? What are you smoking, YouTube? Is that the name of the YouTube channel? What you smoking? Oh, what you smoking on? My bad. I didn't see the O, O-N. I'm trying to find what's smoking on. But true treaty, peace and light. That's all. What's going on? Most sunshine, 114. Peace and light. Oh, for sure. D8 450 area code. What's going on? Oh yeah, for sure. But you know what, Coach Game? We're gonna approach it today from a scientific level. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna teach love, not hate. And we're just gonna show from a scientific level perspective. And maybe some of the stuff today y'all never heard of. Some maybe you have heard of it, just wasn't sure on the particulars about it. But y'all know me. I'm gonna draw the timeline. And so go ahead and get your pen and your pads out. All my note takers, take out your pen and your pad, take notes. For those of you who are new to checking me out, I'm not here to convince or persuade nobody. This is information. So do your own research and then just become something you know without you heard. So do your own research. I'm just gonna drop some jewels, you take notes and you become the mastermind. Peace and love, man. Peace. Islam, brother. Peace. Empress in the building. What's going on? The Empress is in the building. Hear ye, hear ye. The Empress is in the building. What up, my boy? What's going on with you? Hey, Deshaun, I gotta hop in that gym, bro. Every time I pull that picture up, I'm like, man, let me get in the gym quick, man. Let me get in the gym. Stop playing. The workout going. Peace, sleep you, brother. Appreciate you. Oh man, listen. But like I said, bro, from a scientific perspective, bro, scientifically speaking, you know what I'm saying? Scientifically speaking. So we're not gonna do, it's gonna be all love. It's gonna be all love. But they're gonna get the work though. They're gonna get this fucking work. let's go and get into it. Again, I'm gonna be showing the PowerPoint. And as we go through some of this information, if you want the PowerPoint, that's the Cash App. Drop something in the collection plate, and I'll email you the PowerPoint. But be sure to put your email address in the Cash App. Let's get into it. This is Brother Leo Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. Listen up.
We're taught to hate ourselves.
That's right.
Even to this day, many of my people suffer from self-hatred.
Teach Muhammad.
And you will see us trying to change our skin color.
Teach Muhammad.
When I was born in the 50s, in Jamaica, they would take, you know, like my nose, the mothers would sometimes take the nose and try to squash it.
That's right.
To make it straighter, because they didn't like this nose, because it was too, what they call negroid. And they would try and squash it because they'd been so conditioned to hate self that they felt that the baby was ugly if it had thick lips and broad nose and black skin. And so this is in order to counterbalance that degree of self-hatred, there had to be a teaching given by Elijah to black people that would allow us to fall in love once again with ourselves.
That's right.
To have self-respect and to identify that one who was primarily responsible for our destruction. And so I say to you, I understand. Now, just to address the point that you made about the mad scientist. We hear this all the time, but at no point did we say the scientist was mad.
That's right.
That's the only thing I wanted to correct you on. Everything else is correct. Yes, the Caucasian was created or made via a process of genetic engineering.
That's right.
This is the history that we have been, yes, it's true. Yes, it's true.
It's an older group.
Huh?
It's an older group.
What's an older group?
In anthropology, it's an older group.
The Caucasian?
Yes.
No, sir.
The oldest group can be filled with three groups.
No.
Troglodytes.
Okay, let's deal with it.
Now, if you guys can make out what was being said, the older white gentleman in the audience just told Brother Leo Muhammad that the Caucasian race is the older group of hominoids. He's basically saying that the race of European white folks, their species is older than ours. This is a elder gentleman challenging Brother Leo Muhammad about the origins of the first man. Check it out.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Let's deal with this. See, because look, I know you're a wise man, and so you must understand that I'm a baby in wisdom, but I'm not a fool. And he's saying here today that the Caucasian is in fact the oldest group on the planet. I beg to differ. Look, one of the most famous anthropologists is Professor Leakey. And when Professor Leakey went in search of the origin of human beings and human species, he didn't stop very long in Europe.
No.
He went to Africa. And the oldest bones and the oldest human beings to this day that you call Zinzanthropus, using the Latin meaning Zin and Xanthropus, meaning a black man, that oldest man, they say, is millions of years old. You went back and found one even older than that. You called her Lucy, a black woman.
Go ahead.
And every sensible historian, anthropologist today
All right, my bad. That's my bad. Write down Mendel's law of recessive. Mendel's law of recessive. You have to write that down. Mic check. Okay, we good. I got sound now. Write down Mendel's law on your piece of paper because we're taking notes, remember. taking notes. And if you're new to the channel, this is not going to be anything entertaining. So if you're new to the channel, this is not for entertainment. Like, we actually learning some shit over here. You feel me? Write down Mendel's law. He also mentioned Professor Leakey. I'm going to give you Professor Leakey. We're talking about anthropology. You have to understand, stop having those arguments with people about black and white folks. I'm Moors. Listen, man, we're going to go back to the drawing board. And when you trace everything back, once it goes all the way back, we are the only ones here on the planet. Let's say we, the original people of the planet. We're now discovering the original people of North America, original people across the globe, pretty much. What about the original people of the planet? Let's go back before there was any Europeans having debates on the origin. Nobody was concerned about the origin of nothing but them, because they couldn't find themselves nowhere on the planet. And everywhere they went, people didn't look like them. They found out quickly that they were the minority on the planet. Okay? So this is Mendel's, Dr. Mendel, Mendel's inheritance. It's a whole law. When I say law, you know, there's different principles in law. I don't mean like police law. This is universal law. This is science. But the law basically breaks down by saying that you can take the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessive. You can take the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessive. That's what it breaks down into. That's pretty much what Mendel's law is.
Your geneticist, Mr. Mendel.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You have Mendel's law.
Go ahead.
Mendel says that light eyes are recessive. Light skin is recessive. You can take the recessive, the dark skin is dominant, the dark eyes are dominant. You can take the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessive. This is Mendel's law. And so all of your scientists have proved that you can't look. Black is not even a color.
That's right. Teach.
Black is the mother and father of all colors.
Teach.
Right. That's why the scripture says, in the beginning was blackness. And if you want a baby, even if the woman is a white woman, the baby has to come out of the triple darkness of her womb. And this is the origin of all life. Within the black, you have the whole color spectrum. But in white, you can, two white people laying down together, they can only produce white. But two black people in darkest Africa can lay down together and produce albino with blonde hair and blue eyes.
That's right. Teach, Muhammad.
This happens all the time. Teach. And so
now, keep in mind what we're seeing right here, what we're seeing right now. And Brother Leo Muhammad did an excellent job on explaining, right? He did an excellent job of explaining the scenario. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is something called an albino, or albinoidism. And albinoidism is a genetic mutation. This is a mutant, literally a mutant you're watching on the screen. This is a mutation. This is abnormal. This is recessive traits. Light eyes are recessive. Light hair is recessive. Dark face, dark skin, dark eyes. Anything darker is more dominant. But this goes back to the origin of species. This is Louis Leakey. Write him down. Write him down. And Louis Leakey was an anthropologist. He discovered something in Africa that he labeled Xanthropus. I'm sorry, he's a paleontologist and archaeologist. Paleontologists studied the human remains. Archaeology is the excavation, the digging. Dr. Lewis Leakey. Write him down. Let me also find out. This is kind of giving a backdrop on it, but it's actually going to take us into what we need to be talking about anyway. So this is perfect. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? It's crazy. This bio is crazy. Here it is, right here. There it is. That's what he found. That's what he found. He discovered something called Zenzenthropus, or Afrocoi robustus. So write down Zenzenthropus, because the question often comes up in the Nation of Islam, or lessons they were taught therefore by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Farad Muhammad, if peace be upon them. The information they taught, the questionnaire, one of the questionnaires was, who is the oldest man, or who is the original man? Sorry, who is the original man? How many of y'all know the answer to that question when in the Nation of Islam they ask, who is the original man? I mean the correct answer, like the correct dialogue answer. Who could put it in the chat for me? Who is the original man? The answer should be something like the Asiatic black man. The Asiatic black man. The owner, the maker, the cream of the earth. So now they're saying the Asiatic black man, the owner, the maker, and the cream of the earth. I wonder what that reference will be referring to. It will be referring to Genesis chapter 2, when the physical Adam was created. Remember? That's when they say the owner, the maker, and the cream of the earth, and the father of this universe. The owner, the maker, the creator of this universe. That's the correct answer. So in 1959, excavations at a bed were opened while Lewis was sick in camp. His wife actually discovered the fossil. Mary, his wife Mary, discovered the fossil skull OH5 at, I guess that's the digging site, FLK. Let's look into it. Let me go tap on it. Nothing happened. Let's see. Pathurus boreas is a species of Australopithecine, from early Paleolithic of East Africa, 2.5 to 1.15 million years ago. This particular species existed in Africa. This was the oldest species of hominoid. Now, before we go any deeper, y'all have to understand a couple different things. We have to have an understanding of sociology. So write down sociology. Everybody write down sociology. But sociology becomes important also. Sociology is one word. Write down hominoid. Just give you different categories to build your outline as we go through this talk today. I'm gonna tell you where to put it at. Which category? No diddy. Where to put it at. Okay? So you have hominoid. Now we're going to talk about different types of hominoids. Don't write this down. Under the hominoid category, we're going to go into Homo erectus. Okay, we're going to go into different factions of the Homo erectus. which will later be the Paleolithic era. We're going to talk about the Cro-Magnon, the Java man, and Javan man. We're going to walk through the entire court of anthropology and paleontology. We're going to walk through the whole discipline. And we're going to do it at the leisure of these white researchers. We're going to let you, I'm going to let them tell you their story and their origin scientifically. So we don't have to play games or argue it all about with anybody. So they're saying that this Zanzanthropus existed about 2.5 to 1.1 million years ago. Write that down. Make note of that. Make note of the era of how old. Now this is just in Africa. This is the dig they first found. We're not talking about Lucy. We gotta go to shouting Lucy in the comments. Or Dinknish, they called her Dinknish. We're not talking about Dinknish or Lucy. We're not going there yet. Because if we go to Lucy, then Lucy's older than this. Then we talk about the mother of civilization. Now we have to challenge a couple of different things. Because it's taught that the original man was made from the cream of the earth, which we may have interpreted to be the soil, the dirt. But she is the cream of the earth. So Zanzanthropus is 2.5 to 1.5 million years old. You got Dr. Leakey, right? Let's move on. You should have albino written down too. We'll talk about that albinoidism in a second.
We need to really get these facts correct today and understand that as gray as your hair is, you are listening to your father today.
Teach, Muhammad.
This is daddy talking.
Teach.
And we mustn't turn. No, this is true. I'm not mocking. This is true. And I'm telling you, I believe that this man is even sincere in what he says. But this is the problem.
Right.
There are many Caucasian people who sincerely believe.
Go ahead.
That they are our mothers and fathers.
Teach the Bible.
When in fact the opposite is true. Look, that's why you only just came on the planet yesterday.
Now, that sums it up for this video. Did you like or do you hate?
He told him you came on the planet yesterday. The brother told him we came on the planet yesterday. And that's what we're about to dig into right now. That's what we're about to hop on right now. Let's work. Get your pen and your paper out. Let's go to work. Let's get into this. I'm excited. Let's go. Where I want to go with this. Where I want to start at. Let's start here. So we just heard about the Zanzanthropus. We heard about the Zanzanthropus. Zanzanthropus is 2.5. Let's go start digging for these European origins. Write this word down, Paleolithic. Write down Paleolithic. It says Paleolithic, relating or denoting to the early phases of Stone Age, about 2.5 million years, when primitive stone implements were used. The oldest remains found were included Paleolithic arrowheads and knives. The early phase of the Stone Age lasted about 2.5 million years. This is not saying this is 2.5 million years ago. It's saying that that time period lasted for 2.5 million years. So don't get that confused with your 2.5 million years of existence of the people. or earlier people in Africa known as, or species known as Zenzenthropus, or Africus robustus, existing already. This is the European version of Zenzenthropus. You can't even say Zenzenthropus, because Zenge itself implies Africoid or dark skin. So, but just for the point of the conversation, this is their period. So this is the early Stone Age. This is this time period right here. Watch this. How many of y'all remember this? I thought you could get the cartoon. How many of y'all remember this right here? The Flintstones. There was not one dark-skinned Flintstone in the original Flintstones. Not one person of color in the whole cartoon. Now later, I think when they added their children, they had one little black family in there. He was like a doctor or some shit, so. How many of y'all remember this? The Flintstones. This is their period. This is the Paleolithic period. In fact, Fred Flintstone, let me show you something. His exceeding jawline and his slumped forehead and his sinking eyes, he was Cro-Magnon. Cro-Magnon. Let me show you what I mean by Cro-Magnon. Let me show you who. This is Fred Flintstone. Cro-Magnon. Write that word down. Cro-Magnon. Write that word down right now. This is what you can write Fred Flintstone out beside it. You can write Fred Flintstone out beside it if you need to. So let's find out what Cro-Magnon is. Cro-Magnon, or European early modern humans. So this is who we're talking about. Let's see how old they are. Possibly, so they're not even sure about this number. So somewhere in your paper, put Cro-Magnon, put 56,800 years ago. That's it. That's it. In comparison to 2.5 million years ago, we just saw. Okay, so this is the European. Watch this. This is what he found in Africa right here. 1959 excavation. Dr. Leakey's wife, Mary, she was at Camp Sick, came across something called Zenzenthropus. Zenge, they call it. Zenge. The question was whether the fossil belonged to the previous genus discovery by Robert Broom, which was the Paranorthropus. Is a genus. Now, they're talking about the genus pool. You see the word G-E-N-U-S, genus pool? It's the genus, and we'll talk about something else in a minute. So as a matter of fact, write down genus, G-E-N-U-S. Yes, we can say Genesis as well. This is the genome pool of existence, right? So write down genus, G-E-N-U-S. Right outside of the word genus, write the word taxonomy, T-O-X-O, onomy, taxonomy. I'm sorry, T-A-X, I apologize. Taxonomy. So out beside the word genus, write the word taxonomy. That's how specific we're going to get today. Or remember of different genus ancestry to humans. Lewis opted for Zenzenthropus as a decision opposed by Wilfred LaGrosse Clark, but one which attracted the attention of Melvin Bell Grosvenor, president of the National Geographical Society. That contact resulted in an article in the National Geographic and a large grant to continue to work. Let's look where they were at right here. Over Diebold. In 1960s, geologists Jack Dever and Grannis Curtis dated the digging site from 1.9 to 1.75 million years ago, confirming the great antiquity of fossil humanoids in Africa. Remember that word humanoid? Hominoid. So this is two different hominoids. Two different ones. Two different beginnings, two different origin stories. This is your origin story. Okay. However, this is the Eurocentric origin story. And from this story, I'm gonna take you back to what was called the wheel of evolution, the evolutionary chart with those monkeys. And I'm gonna take you through the monkeys all the way up to the upright man. But I want to explain who these upright men are before I show you that picture, because sometimes we just see the picture with the monkey and the upright walking man, and that's the evolutionary chart, but nobody explained to you those entities on that chart. I'm going to explain the entities on the chart. Okay. So we have Zanzanthropus, which is a whole different genome pool than Cro-Magnon. We understand that. All right. Now we understand that. Let's find out about this Cro-Magnon. The Cro-Magnon, or European early modern humans, was the first early modern human in Europe. This was Europeans' first early modern human. To settle in Europe, migrated from Western Asia. Keep that in mind, because we're going to talk about the Peking Man also. And then you'll understand what Siberians and all the other stuff comes from as well. Come from Western Asia, continuously occupying the continent, possibly from as early as 56,800 years ago. That's what they're speculating. They interacted and inbred with indigenous Neanderthals. They interacted and they bred with indigenous Neanderthal. Now, what is a Neanderthal? Let's see. A Neanderthal are an existing group of archaic humans. It says archaic human is a broad category denoting all species of genus Homo that are not Homo sapiens. These are not Homo sapiens. These are not Homo sapiens. What is a Homo sapien? Human. Human. Homo sapien means human, or modern humans are the most common widespread species of primate. Last surviving species genus, Homo. The gray ape, characteristic by hairless. Listen what a human is. Listen what a human is. Pay attention to this, what a human is. A human is, they are great apes characterized by their hairless bipedalism and high intelligence. Humans have large brains, enabling more advanced cognitive skills. I don't know why they got the Asian people up here. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's embarrassing. I wouldn't even go for that. But anyway, it talks about they develop high complex tools, form complex social structures and civilizations. Humans are highly social. This is a human. Let's see where the human came from. This is the human. Neanderthal, which is a subspecies of humans. They're not humans. They live in Eurasia. Just in case you were wondering, the true name of Europe is Europa. Eurasia is the whole plate. That's the whole tectonic plate. I don't know why they have Northern Africa highlighted in green. That's crazy. But India is Asia. Russia is Asia. Europe is Asia. All of it. That's all Asia. Africa was known as Asia Minor or Little Asia. That big plate is known as Big Asia. Asia Major. So Asia Major and Asia Minor. You don't believe me? Write it down, look it up. Both places were called Asia. Africa was also known as Asia. Nah, Minister, man, you okay, let me show you, because I don't want nobody on here thinking I'm lying. Give me a second to pull it up real quick. I want to show receipts. I want to show some receipts, what I'm talking about. It was also known as Antola. Did you know that? There it is. Watch this. Antola, also known as Asia Minor, has two definitions. It is either the entire Asian area of Turkey or bounded by the infinity line of the Gulf of, think Mexico. Watch this, not Mexico. What countries are Asia Minor? 1835. I'm sorry. This is a source 1835 map of Asia Minor, or today what is Turkey, and adjacent to the countries covers from Italy to East Syria, Bulgaria, south of Libya. It includes the whole or part of modern day countries: Italy, Greece, Albania, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Turkey, Egypt, Libya, Israel, and Lebanon. That's known as Asia Minor. Asia Minor. Asia Major would be the other big continent. So we talk about Asiatics. That's a whole other conversation, but we can talk about Asiatics. All right, back to the Neanderthals. The Neanderthal are an existing group of archaic humans who lived in Eurasia. You see that? Until about 40,000 years ago. The type specimen, Neanderthal 1, 40,000 years old. That's it. That's just how old that is. That's 40,000 years old. 40, they're younger than the pyramids. Okay. 1856 was found in Nander Valley in present-day Germany. It is not clear when the line of Neanderthals split from that of modern humans. Studies have produced various time ranges from 315,000 to more than 800,000 years ago. Still not old enough. They're still not old enough. Our species being 2.5 million years old, by the time that these entities came into existence, we had empires already. We were already doing it by the time they even came on the planet, this species. Because now they're doing what's called carbon dating. They're dating how old they are. Just how young they are. The reason for the Neanderthal existence are disputed. Theories for their existence include demographic factors such as small population sizes, inbreeding. You're going to continue to see the word breeding. You're going to continue to see the word breeding. Competitive replacement, inbreeding, and assimilation with modern humans. This is known as eugenics. This is eugenics. If you've never heard of eugenics, this is eugenics. This is ethnical. This is also several mutations happening and evolutions happening for them. These are experimental people. They always have been to experimenting. This is their creation story. They didn't come out of the old dirt. They were created, manufactured. For much as the early 20th century, European researchers depicted Neanderthals as primitive, unintelligent, brutish, although knowledge and perception of them has remarkably changed since the scientific community and the image of unevolved caveman archetype. Write down caveman. Write down caveman. Essentially what they're saying Neanderthals looks like. Let me show you. mean, some of you have kids. Right here. This is the age after. I'm sorry. This is the age prior to Stone Age. So, Crudes, the movie Crudes, these are Neanderthals. I'm sorry. Yeah, Neanderthals. They're not quite. The Flintstones. Now, the Flintstones are showing you the actual Stone Age. This is not the Stone Age. Remember? And all they wanted to do was go back in the cave until a guy with his dreadlocks came around, teaching them to go to the sun or follow the sun. The sun would save them. This is the movie The Crudes, by the way. If you have not seen it, you have to check it out. And that little monkey around his neck is only found in two places. It could be South America or either Africa. That monkey is not in Europe. There's a lot of little subtle hints I was taking a look at with a guy. That's the dude with the monkey belt. But Crudes represent Cro-Magnon, Paleolithic, Neanderthal. Well, you may ask, what is Paleolithic? Let's look at Paleolithic. I thought I had it up there. Before we go to Paleolithic, hold on. I want to show y'all one more other thing because we talked about Cro-Magnon. Write down Java Man. Some people say Javan. Joanna Man. Java Man. Write down Java Man. Write this down. I didn't, hold on. I'm not even, across the water, folks. I don't know what your question was, brother. Hold on. Let me see. Coach Gang, you have to give me your question again in the comment. Yeah, you just answer your question again. Hold on. What's your question? Our brothers across the waters created them, folks. If that was your question about their creation, yeah, I mean, there's several creation stories when it comes to these entities. The Nation of Islam has the story of Yaqub. Some people call him the mad scientist. The Yaqub story, where he separated the brown germ from the brown germ from the black germ. You guys never heard the story of Yaqub? I'm not familiar with that story. That can also be a part of it. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. But to say directly that the people overseas create them people, I don't know. I'd be reluctant to say. I'm just showing you scientifically of what they saying their creation origins is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying nothing. I'm giving y'all the information. So yeah. If I had to say yes or no, I'll say yeah, for sure. Scrupulously, undoubtedly, they were definitely created. Definitely they were created. And that's what I'm showing you, their creation. So write down Java Man. Because we already talked about the Neanderthal. Java. It says Homo erectus, upright walking. Yeah, Homo sapien too. Homo sapien, Homo erectus. I know this all sounds crazy and ridiculous, but it helps you to understand the origin. You can stop having these feeble-minded debates about the original anything. when you just know that, oh, we was already here anyway. You can look at somebody's face full confidence. Oh, we were already here. And just stare at them like, bitch, you, whatever you see out your mouth, it don't matter because we was here before that happened too. As a species, because this is the same genome pool that we're like me talking to y'all listen to me. It's the same genome pool. Energy is never destroyed. It's always transferred. It's just transferred energy from billions of years. Intelligent energy, AI energy, for sure. Java man also, Australopithecus erectus is an early human fossil discovered in 1891 and 1892. So this is prior to Dr. Leakey's discovery, clearly. This is prior to Dr. Leakey's discovery. Estimated between 700,000 to 1.4 million years ago. It was at the time of the discovery that the oldest hominoid fossil ever found. It remained a type of specimen of Homo erectus. So they saying that they found the oldest fossil until Dr. Leakey them came and bust their head open later with their discovery of. They said, well, wait a minute, that's not the oldest one. And the Java man takes you to what's called the Peking Man. I'm gonna show you the Peking Man too, which is most Asians or Siberians come from. Okay, let's read on. They thought it was the oldest fossil ever found because it was 1891 to 92. So you can write that down. 1891 to 1892, they did discover an old fossil, but later to be trumped, but 30, 40 years later, maybe 50 years later, by Dr. Leakey. Led by Eugene Du Bois, the excavation team uncovered two skull cap thigh bone trilla. Where's this at? This is the site, I think. Like site. In the banks of Benguan Solar River, East Java province, Indonesia. It was in Indonesia, East India. On the banks of the Solar River. It's the longest river in Indonesia, the island of Java. East Java. Give you a map idea of where it may be at. Indonesia. This is not even on full land. It was out on islands and digging and shit. So this is crazy. Pay attention to it. Watch this. Argued that the fossil represented the missing link between apes and humans. They argued that this is the missing link between apes and humans. And that argument was not made with Zanthropus. The argument was not made with Zanthropus about no ape, nothing. The argument or the sentiment, the guessing of man being linked to apes are now in question in the European community because this is their history. Watch this. Let me pull it up for y'all real quick. Now that we've kind of talked about it a little bit, let's see if we can point it out and show y'all some shit. All right. Now we're only talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is the hominoid class they was talking about when they first discovered. This is the Homo sapien, Homo erectus, Homo erectus you just saw. And this is the human version of a culmination of evolution from this thing right here, which is not even classified as human really, to this thing right here, to this thing right here, these people we see in front of us today. A mutation took place. They're showing the mutation evolution. The mutant became more, the genome pool got toyed with and matriculated. Now, according to Dr. Rick Smith, they're called the Adapa. The species right here would be the Adapa species. They're also known as Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a form. Watch this. Now let me show you Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a form of this Adapa, or this evolution still taking place from this creature. Harry. There's a movie called Harry and the Hendersons. Matter of fact, I'm pull it up for y'all. It might be a little too young for that movie. I think John Candy played in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, him, I forgot his name. Harry and the Hendersons. The thin lips, the slumped forehead, the gouging jawline. Just everything he did was just with brute force. Just couldn't speak. Barefooted, untamed, and he had fur and not hair. That's fur. Now, keep this in mind right here. We're talking about this. Keep this in mind. I'm gonna go back to this real quick. Read it one more time. They argued that the fossils represented the missing link. They knew something was missing. It represented the missing link. It represented the missing link. And the missing link was what? Well, I just showed you. The missing link. They said that this thing, there's something missing. There's a wider gap between here and here. Shorter gap between here and here of evolution. It's a missing link between this and this, or this and this in that case. That this Java man represented the missing link between those. That's called the Java man, or Javan man. The Java man. They argued it was the missing link between the humans. Du Bois gave the species a scientific name, Australopithecus erectus, later renamed Picticus erectus. Man, that is a lot. The term Anthropopithecus, or obsolete taxi, describing either chimpanzees, describing, let's click on this. Let's deal with this. Write this word down. Anthropopithecus. That's a lot. Or a obsolete taxi. You're talking about taxonomy. I told you to write down the word taxonomy earlier. We're going to deal with taxonomy. I'm going to show you the father of taxonomy, which is a Mr. Carl Linnaeus. We're going to talk about Carl Linnaeus. We're going in. We got about another 45 minutes to really get it in. So make sure you take really good notes. Hold on. Coach game. What Coach game talk about? Yes, I was also giving the knowledge that the first mass group was fighting their own wars on each other. And the second mass of them tilled their lands, basically saying that they were incapable, lazy to do. Hey, Coach Game, we can get into a whole nother matter of a lecture I did a while ago, bro, called the Penal Colony, basically. I forgot the sister name. We did the first version. I came back and did it again. This is more dealing with the Penal Colony, the work camp complex on Earth. That's what that's dealing with. This ain't that, but good, great point. So this, write down this word. It says, or obsolete taxonomy, describing either chimpanzees or archaic humans. Archaic humans. Archaic humans is a broad category denoting all species of genus of Homo humans. We're not human. We're not human, and definitely not human beings. We're trying to be human. Let me show you what Let me teach y'all something, man, so y'all can stop. Because we got to stop with the language. Hold on. I got it on image. Beast. I'm trying to find it. Black's Law. It's not Black's Law. I'm trying to find it on my other screen, but I'm gonna find it for you. A human is a beast. It says legally a human is defined. I'm reading off screen, and determining the meaning of the act of Congress. Hold on. It says, the words person, human being, child, and individual shall include every infant member of the species Homo sapiens who were born alive. So legally, a human is a Homo sapien, which the word Homo sapien is that. But you're not a human being. Kind of like saying that we're man, and they're mankind. This is just a differential study between science of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, we got that wrote down. Let's continue. So we don't have a whole lot of time. Authropopticus, that's a crazy word, was originally coined to describe the chimpanzee and its junior synonym, pan. It had also been used to describe several other extant species, among other fossils. Java man. Very quickly, the latter was reassigned to that keyword of what that is, originally coined to refer to theoretical missing link. So it seems that Europeans are on a mission to discover themselves. They're digging, trying to find out where he came from. All right, Java man. All right, they keep comparing them to chimpanzees, to chimps. They keep comparing them to chimps. So when I go into this next part of it, it's not me. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. It's what they're saying. And I often would hear white people say stuff like, well, I'd just be a monkey's uncle. I'd just be a monkey's uncle. You ever heard anybody say that before? Press 111 in the comments if you've ever heard, I'd just be a monkey. It's like a common phrase. Call me a monkey's uncle. It's like a saying. Press 111 if you've heard that before. I'd just be a monkey's uncle. All right. So now, y'all ready for the next part of this situation? Because I'm not making this stuff up. This is just for educational purposes only. I'm not picking. This is not hatred. This is not slander. This is just for educational purposes only. I have to make that disclaimer. But you guys are seeing it. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Leave it in the comments. Teach me how I'm incorrect. Show me I'm incorrect. But I'm pretty sure Bro, drop a subscription in here. Eating life. Islam. I like that. Because y'all do realize this is still Sunday school too now. This is also Sunday school as well. So appreciate that in the comments. Thank you. But the phrase, "I'd just be a monkey's uncle." Well, let's see if they are truly monkey's uncle. But let's let science teach us though. Okay. Let's not be, let's let science teach us. The discovery of Rh blood group factor in humans, Homo sapiens, was made using the red blood cells of rhesus monkey. Because of its importance to the human medicine and imagenetic, this finding contributed greatly to the appreciation of the importance of non-human primates in research. All right. Maybe that wasn't so convincing for you. I didn't get any oohs and ahs out of the crowd on that one. So let's try this one then. But in all seriousness, keep that in mind what we just read though. Let's see what this is. This is known as a troglodyte nigger. This is just for educational purposes only. This is not for hatred or slander of any race, color, or creed. This is just the origin of a certain particular species of something on this earth. That it was not manned. It was not a man. This was something else that evolved. You guys have seen this for yourself. You guys just wrote down the whole transgression of the evolutionary chart. I showed you on the evolutionary chart where we was at. Now on the chart, let me show you where we at now on that chart. I'll pull the chart back up for you. Give me a second. Find it. They got some crazy images up there too. All right, let me chart. Now, we already talked about these three right here. These are the only three we covered. 1, 2, 3. We covered those three right there on the chart. Now we're going all the way back here now. Okay. Now we're going back here. We're going to talk about this gap right here. Okay. Check. Everybody's on board. Everybody's on board what we're talking about right now. Nobody just seems like they're lost or don't know what's happening right now, because we're talking about the gap between these two things right here. My arrow is flashing between these two things right here, right? So with that being said, we're here now. Check. We're now here. We're now here. This is called a troglodyte nigger. Nah, man, this does that say troglodyte Niger, like the Niger River. I want you to focus on what that last word means. Who can tell me what that part means? The Niger means. Who knows? I only want intelligent answers. Don't come out here playing. Who knows what that word means? Its source origin. It means black, and that's with one G. Black. So it doesn't mean Nigeria. Come on, man. No, it does not mean Nigeria. No, ma'am, Pam, I'm sorry. The word Nigeria itself, at its root, means black. Take off the IA of Nigeria. It still means nigger, black. Not talking about a people, just black people, just black, the word black itself, because the word black itself ain't even that old. And I think we're all, on my channel at least, the people who really follow me know that we don't have to go down the road of etymology dealing with the word black. We know the word black dates back to around the 14th, 15th century. Its source origin is O High German, O High French, O English. That means before that time period, this word would not existed, but the word black, in the scientific sense of nigger, existed pre-word black. Hope you guys are following what I'm saying. Hope you guys are scooping up what I'm putting down. Now, this is the troglodyte nigger. This is the troglodyte nigger. Remember earlier I showed you that a group of individuals, get my I'm getting ready to make a point. I'm getting ready to make a point, and I want to drop a bomb on this point. So you got to give me a second. You got to give me a second. Hold on. Let me cue it up. Okay. I just want to get it ready and queued up because I want to drop a bomb so bad. All right. So this is troglodyte nigger. Let's learn about this real quick. Have a seat, baby. Have a seat. It says the troglodyte nigger or chimp. Let's read about it real quick, see what it is. According to zoologists, this is just a picture. Here we go. What is a troglodyte nigger? The muscle and nerves of a chimpanzee, troglodyte niggers, and Pseudo-science anibus. How big are they? It's asking about a chimp. Where can it be found? The type of species, pan troglodytes. I don't want you guys to get confused. What does it look like? Troglodytes were shorter than humans on average, standing about 5'6", with a spiny but muscular arms, squat legs, long, slender tails. They had tails. Are troglodytes mentioned in the Bible? Caveman race of troglodytes who dwelt in limestone caves, which abounded in Edom. Their ancestors were Seir, who probably gave his name to the district where he lived. They were a branch of Hivites in Genesis chapter 14:6, Genesis chapter 36, 22-30, 1 Chronicles 1:38, Chronicles 1:39. Write those scriptures down right now, please. Because this is still Sunday school. This is still Sunday school. So we're gonna get them the biblical lessons in. If you have any issues explaining what a troglodyte nigger is, you tell that person, turn to me to the scriptures, and you let the scriptures talk for you. Amen. It was a caveman, a race of troglodytes who dwelt in the limestone caves. Could have not been a better segue. Could have not been a better freaking segue.
Prepare for
All right. I think I get the point. These are the individuals we're talking about. When they mention asking what a troglodyte nigger was, and according to the scripture, what the scripture just said it was, caveman race of troglodytes who dwelt in limestone caves. They show y'all cartoons about it. Put it right in your face. I don't think many of you understand what species they're showing you. Like, it's a whole species. Troglodyte nigger. A troglodyte nigger. Which had me more curious to dig a little bit deeper, right? I had to dig a little bit deeper. And I wanted to understand something a little bit more now, because now I feel like that they might be playing in our face. So watch this. Hold on. There we go. Now I feel like they may be playing in our face. So now I want to understand what this word black means. I want to understand the etymology. And for those of you who don't know, we deal with etymology, meaning me and my people over here deal with this. It says the word black can be traced to its Proto-Indo-European origins. That was a lot. Proto-Indo-European. That's old school. Origins through the word blanc, which means pale, wan, colorless, albino. So when we call ourselves black, you see how stupid we sound. Oh, they ain't got no sound? I have no sound now. Hold on. Make sure you guys can hear me now. You guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Okay, cool. You can hear me now. Oh, the cruise had no sound. Yeah, I won't worry about the sound for the cruise. I won't worry about it. They said you couldn't hear me no more. I'm like, no, not me. All right, cool. I'm not worried about cruise. But I'm just showing you guys the cruise movie to draw a simulation line between the cave dwellers. Now we saw the word itself, right? Troglodyte nigger. And we know that the word troglodyte nigger, N-I-G-E-R, means black. And the word black goes back to the word albino. So those troglodyte albino beings, this is what they are. They got you thinking that you're black, got you thinking that you're monkeys. It's them. It's them. So this is the PowerPoint. This is the PowerPoint. It's got me to dig. Now I'm gonna do about a 30-minute build on this PowerPoint. I'm gonna go through it rather quickly. May not finish the PowerPoint. But if you want to get this PowerPoint that I'm about to go into, now everything that I've been saying up to this point, it was only to prepare you for right now. If you want this PowerPoint I'm about to break down, hit the Cash App, a couple of dollars, drop your email in the box, the Cash App joint, so I know who to send this PowerPoint to, and just put PowerPoint, and I'll already know what it is. Here's the kicker. Everybody who donated last time for the other PowerPoint, I'm also going to send this to you. So each time a person built, he's going to keep building. I'm sorry, the last time was an outline of Abraham. For those of you who got the Abraham outline, I'm going to send you this PowerPoint as well. For those of you who wish to have this PowerPoint, hit the Cash App. Put your email in there, and I'll drop this on you. I email it right to you. Those who got the Abraham outline, I already know. I'm a man of my word. So this is something I put together a while ago. I think I first did this on Crum TV years ago. I've done this at a live lecture also. So everything we just learned today, understanding that we're different. We're different. And we have to know that we have an enemy, and we have to know what and who our enemy is. Hopefully the information I just shared with you earlier was insightful enough for you to do your own research. You know, already don't believe a word I say. I'm not here to convince or persuade any of y'all. This is just information. Do your own research. Then it becomes something you know, not something you heard. And if you're under the sound of my voice right now on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, hit the subscription button, man. Hit the bell, turn the notification on right now. It's like 80-something people in this room. Turn on the notification button and share this shit. Share the information. Don't be selfish and just listen to it yourself and don't share it with somebody. Share it with 3 or 4. I challenge y'all to share it with 5 people at least. Hit the share and tag 5 people on whatever platform you're on. Get this shit out, man. So this is a PowerPoint I did called The Invention of People Through Science. Because I often heard in the M.O.I Science Temple that they would teach us that according to science, black means death. According to science, black means death. And anytime I know that we was out in the temple or out on highways and byways sharing the information that the Honorable Noble Drew Ali was giving us, and we were sharing information, we would tell people this passage. That according to science, black means death. It would be such pushback from our own people. Like Jesus said, I went into my own and they received me not. They didn't receive that information at all. So I want to know why we keep saying according to science, black means death, but nobody ever asked which science. So on your paper, if you're taking notes, which should be everybody should be taking notes. I'm not here just to be, you know what I'm saying, entertaining people. So let's tighten up. All my disciples, get your pen and your paper, take notes. According to science, write this down. I don't care if you're more or not, if you're in the M.O.I Science Temple or not. These are some lessons from the M.O.I Science Temple. We learn from all books. We honor all prophets, all of them, everybody. Buddha, Confucius, Rasulullah Muhammad, Wahihi Salam, all of them. So we're going to learn all this information, not just selective learning. So write down, according to science, black means death. Write that down on your paper. According to science, black means death. Then you're going to write a question. You're going to write the word which, W-H-I-C-H, which science. Write that right now. According to science, black means death. Then you're going to write the question out somewhere in your paper, which science? Which science? And that's a question. And I'm going to answer that question. But according to science, black does mean death. Okay? Let's get into it. This is something from the Holy Quran, which was divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family. And it goes on to say, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are human race descension of the ancient Canaanites in the nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. I highlighted the red because that's the part that's the point I wanted to drive home. The whole passage is dope, but according to all true and divine records, true and divine, there's 2 different records he's referring to. Divine records meaning any type of religious text. According to all divine records, which is religious text, the Torah, the Bible, the Injil, the Safa Harasa literature, the Quran, the holy tablets and the emerald tablets, the scrolls, all of it. There's no race of people called Negro, black, and colored. They don't exist. And true records are dealing with science, anthropology, paleontology. They just don't, it just doesn't exist. There's no such thing as it. Let's go on. Where did the idea of birth of race come from, humankind? Where did that come from? I'm only reading in red. The term was often used in general biology taxonomic sense, starting from around the 19th century, 1800s, to denote genetically differentiated human populations defined by phenotype. Write down the word phenotype. Phenotype. The word pheno means facial, face, type. So they began to identify humans by what's called phenotypically. The phenotraits, the wide nose, the thick lips, the thin lips, the big ears, the slumped foreheads. They begin to identify what's called phenotypes. Write down the word phenotype. 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 Race refers to a person's physical characteristics, such as bone structure, skin, hair, or eye color. That's all race deals with. What is your race? What race are you? According to my bone and my hair and my eyes, I guess I would be black or African. That's race. See, we're not concerned about race type anymore. Or you never should have been concerned about race type. And once we unravel this word race, it then begins to unravel the word racist and racism and all that crazy shit. Nonsense, because race refers to a person's physical characteristics. Because you and I have woolly hair, we both have darker skin, we're supposed to be of the same race. Dark skin race. It's called pseudo-science. It's called pseudo-science. However, we are concerned with ethnic. However, refers to cultural factors, including nationality, regional culture, ancestry, and language. So write down ethnic. What is your ethnic group? You will hardly ever get asked your ethnicity. You will get presented your race first, because then you know, or maybe you don't know, because we're under psychoneurosis. We don't know that race deals with skin, teeth, hair. That's not how you identify a group of people. You do it by what's called ethnic. Ethnic refers to the cultural factors, including nationality, regional culture, ancestry, and your language. That's what we're concerned with, ethnic. Let's talk about the Naturalization Act. It's gonna go really, really fast, because we just talked about the anthropological evidence that you're older, first of all, but we also did something more inclusive by showing you how Europeans began the age of discovery in the field of science, of study of anthropology and paleontology and all those ologies, the studies of earth excavating and digging and finding out where they came from. Dr. Leakey and Mandel's law, when they discovered, like, oh, wait a minute, we are the minority on the planet. So once they really understood their minority on the planet, this became a race war long time ago. I would often hear when the Roman army would invade darker countries, or any country for that matter, they would allow their soldiers to procreate with the local women to impregnate them with more Roman babies. You ever heard of that? That was a sure sign that their genome pool would survive to the next century. They understood earlier on that they're a dying breed or a dying species. In fact, Europe took it real serious. Well, I would say Europe itself took it serious a couple times. Hitler took it very, very, very serious when he was trying to resurrect the original genome pool of Europe, which were, let me show you. I should have had this up already. There we go. Let me show you the race that Hitler was trying to resurrect or preserve. The Alpine race. And then there was another race called the Nordics. The Alpine and the Nordic. The Aryans also, or it's called the Aryan race also. These are galactic races who implanted themselves on the planet thousands of years ago. And this is when the experimentation began. The genetic modification began. This is why I did dealing with these Euro-humanoids You get such variation in vague origins. So the Alpine race is a short-headed, broad face. They're talking about the phenotype at this point. This is the phenotype. The Alpine race. The Nordic bloodlines. The Nordic inhabitants, the countries around the North and Baltic Sea, and included not only the great Scandinavian and Celtic groups, but also our other early people who first appeared in the Southern European and Asia as representatives of the Aryan language and culture. This was a species of beings, the Alpine, the Nordics, and the Aryans. This is the bloodline that Hitler was tasked to protect. Now, I'm not talking about human beings. Now, let's take our mind off such novice learning and understand. I'm talking about this is a species of beings, of creatures that Hitler was tasked to resurrect and protect. The Alpines and the Nordics. If this, what I'm saying, sounds too far off the rail, I just showed you that these are created creatures. These are created beings. Splicing, experimentation, inbreeding, breeding. I showed you earlier that they were created by a process of breeding, a breeding process, much how you breed two dogs to get a superior dog or superior stock. And that's what they was there to protect. This superior stock, bloodline, genopool type, because it's been about race. When I say race, I mean the preservation of a genopool. That's why they got the idea of what they call the blue bloods, ancestral inbreeding to protect the bloodline. Y'all didn't know we was gonna go there, did we? But I went there. Back to this. This is called the Naturalization Act. It was passed by the United States Congress on June 18, 1798. It increased the period necessary for immigrants. Now, who were the immigrants in America in 1798? I'll give you a second to think about it. Who were the immigrants? In the comments, who were the immigrants coming into America in 1798? Who? Who do you think were the immigrants coming to this country in 1798? What was the reason for a Naturalization Act? Write that down too. Write down Naturalization Act. Notice that shit don't say Nationalization Act. This is a naturalizing of a group of people who are not nationals of a landmass. So we have to naturalize them into the nation of people who are already here. Since they came out of the goddamn caves in Europe, they've been doing this. By hook or crook. Shouts out to the sister Nina Simone. By hook or crook, I have to get you guys interested. I have to make you guys understand who you are. By hook or crook. Naturalization Act. It's the legal act or process by which non-citizens who would be the non-citizens in this case? Who do you think are the non-citizens right now? It's an act by which non-citizens in the country may acquire, steal, take citizenship or nationality of that country. It may be done by a statutes. That's not law. Statutes and ordinances are not law. It's corporate policy. By corporate policy without any effort on the part of the individual. So you just got to be there. It's your inheritance that this paperwork, this document got passed in 1789. These European immigrants just became national. Voila. It may involve an application and approved by legal authorities. What is a nation? What is a nation? Let me go back to this because I skipped that part. You have to recognize what a state is. State. A state is what? A nation or territory considered as an organized political community under one government. That's a state. We have 48 nations, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 48 nation states comprise of what you think is the United States of America. But there are 48 individual territories known as nations. And are you a Georgian? Are you a Virginian? Are you a Texan? You're a Californian? Get it? A nation, from the Latin word nato, people, tribe, kin, genus, there it is again, class, flock, is a large group of collective of people with common characteristics attributed by including language, tradition, more customs, habitual habits, ethnicity. You didn't see race in there not one time because race does not determine your nationality. When I say nationality or nation, I'm just talking about your tribe. Whether you're Yamakra, Gullah, Crow, Cherokee, Yamansi, Cimarron or Seminole, Miamian, Iroquois, that's your nation, that's your tribe, that's your class, that's your genus. That's all they're saying. What's your nationality? Black itself has no nationality. Black folk ain't got nothing. There's no nation behind it. There's no flag. There's nothing backing it. So we have to understand what is happening. I just broke down what a country was, which is a geographical territory which may or may not give affiliation with a government or ethnic group. Stateless person. I told them I'm going through this quick. You don't have a nation. You're stateless. You don't have a citizenship with nobody. You're stateless. Here we go. This is part I want to get to right here. Now I'm excited. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me the whole time too, man. Once again, if you want to get your hands on this PowerPoint, hit that Cash App. Just drop a little change in the Cash App. Put your email when you send the Cash App so I know who to send it to. Everybody who got the Abraham outline will receive this as well. This is an old body of work, by the way. I'm going to record about this. I did this shit like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. I got some more cool shit now that I'm working with programs like Canva. So just take it easy on my fucking graphics, okay? Just that's not the point. Black, according to science, means death. Remember earlier on your paper, I said put it on your paper? How many of y'all put it on your paper? How many of y'all actually put what I said on your paper? Because now the bomb about to get dropped. Now it's time to drop the bombshell. I've been waiting all day to drop this bomb. Black, according to science, means death. And the question I told you to write down was, but what science? What science do y'all think we're dealing with? What science does black means death in? Which one of the sciences? Y'all know there's several sciences, right? There's a lot of sciences out there, like the discipline of science. Which science y'all think? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a fucking good one. Pseudo-science is definitely one of them. I want you guys to write down pseudoscience. Write that down on your paper. Write the word pseudo. Pseudo means false, by the way, but write down the word pseudo-science. Pseudo-science. Because I'm going to show you, always have shouts out to you. Because I'm going to show you a couple pseudoscientists in a second. I want you to write their names down. If any of you guys locked in with me the other day when I went over the ethnic cleansing, the whitewashing live I did the other day, I'm going to bring up a lot of those people's names from last time and some I didn't bring up. who are pseudoscientists. Which other science you guys think? Islam, bro. Put more science. Islam. 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 They say this is my purpose with the internet. I have questions. Oh, for sure. I thought you had a question. If you guys have questions, man, just drop them in the chat. I'll put them up on the joint. Yes, sir. Social science. Write down social science. Y'all write that shit down now. So the next time the Moors be in your face telling you, according to science, black means death, you ain't looking so crazy like, oh yeah, Islam. Oh, you right. Black means death in a couple different sciences. Social science is one. Pseudo-science. Political science. This is another science. Listen. Brother, you are on fire. Yes, those are the sciences. Those are the sciences. Nobody asked which science. Political science. Political science is a social science. Remember earlier, before I said social, socialization, social, that's another science too. Political science is a social science. So social science is the umbrella. Political science falls under social science. Sociology, social studies. Remember social studies from school? How many of y'all remember social studies from school? How many of y'all paid attention? How many of y'all know the social, economical perspective of so-called black folks in America? When you hear that word social, political, social, economical. Political science is a social science which deals with the system of governments and the analyzing of political activities, political thoughts, and political behaviors. Social science is a major category of academic discipline concerned with social society and relationships among individuals within the society. So, political science, you know, politically, so-called black folks get it the worst politically. There are no good politics. There are no good policies for black folks either. So political science means death of the word black. There's no political science for black folks. There's no social science for black folks either, right? The social science include, these are the areas that I think black people suffer from the most. I did create this list. I highlighted some of the words in the list to point out. Economics. Economically, because you're black, you're the underclass. Anthropology, archaeology, we just hopefully excavated some of that information that you're older than what you think you are as a species of people. Law, jurisprudence, we definitely get the short end of the stick on that shit, don't we? Historically, we don't know our history. And we damn sure don't speak our language. Biology is another science. Watch this. Taxonomy, there's that word. Now we're dealing with biology. I know we went through a lot today. I got a couple more minutes when I get off here. We went through a lot today. Taxonomy, a branch of science that encompasses descriptions, identification, nomenclature, and classification of organisms. For sure. Appreciate that. So appreciate that. There are different studies of taxonomy. This is the one we're concerned with right here. Linnaeus taxonomy. Carl Linnaeus is the father of taxonomy. Why are we learning about taxonomy? Why are we learning about taxonomy? I just showed you biology and anthropology and paleontology. Those are all areas you must become masters in. You must at least understand what paleontology is and understand which paleontologists and anthropologists excavated the old fossils that we brag about. Like, oh, we're the oldest species on the planet. How do you know? Well, according to what was written, Professor Leakey and his wife Mary actually excavated the oldest skull. Prior in 1859, they thought they found the oldest skull by calling it Java Man, which is in current day Indonesia. You sound more intelligent when you talk like you answer a question with information and facts. Facts are more reliable than predictions. Facts are more reliable than opinions. They supersede. Let me get this right. Facts are more reliable than opinions. Facts always win the argument. Just hit it with facts. Linguistics. This is the word you need to write down and know. I'm gonna do about 2 more slides. Onomastics. Onomastics is the study of the history of the origin of proper names, especially personal names. Now we're going to go into the name calling. Anthropomestic. Anthropomestic is the study of names of human beings, the study of anthroponyms. The word anthroponym is anthro-human. Name, onomastic. Besides linguistics, researchers in many fields take part in this study. I know it seems like a lot. It's not. Once you understand this shit, man, nobody can tell you anything else. They can't tell you nothing else. There's subdivisions of anthroponyms. This is called an ethnonym. The ethnonym is the nation. It applies to a given name, ethnic group. Ethnonyms can be divided into 2 categories as well. The 2 categories of ethnonyms is an exonym and an endonym. An endonym is what we call ourselves as a group. An exonym is what they're calling us. The outside group is calling the other group a name. We don't have to agree to that name. That's just an exonym. So Negro, Black, and colored are all exonyms. We have an endonym. We have a self-designated name as a people as well. It's all fall under the categories of what's called ethnonyms. You don't have to worry no more about the Negro Black conversation. White, that's a dead conversation now. We have to advance our conversation. Y'all still having the same conversations niggas was having in New York on the corner in 1999 on the corner fussing and arguing about niggas. Come on, bro. It's time to advance the conversation. And this is how we're gonna do it. An ethnonym. You have exonyms, autonyms, endonyms. And this is the science behind the language. This is the law of the language. This is part of what's making you literate or illiterate. Okay? And we just got to that was all social science. Now we're on the political science. State of mind, I called it. The term Black was often used in the West to describe people whose skin is dark. In the United States, it's particularly used to describe African Americans. The term for African Americans have been changed over the years, as shown by this category I'm going to show you, as shown by the category United States Census taken every 10 years, every decade. We're going to confuse them niggas and give them another title. Let's count the Negro population in the U.S. In 1790, isn't that crazy that this was done as I showed you earlier, the Naturalization Act was done also. You see how the census was taken right after that? Let's naturalize all these so-called white folks and then take a census and count the other people. Well, how are you gonna count? What? How are you gonna count the immigrants as national people when they just got here? Shut up. We got you. Let's create the Census Bureau. What is the Census Bureau? We just take a quick head count of who's here every 10 years. That's all. Why is that important? To make sure we don't get overrun. I mean, to make sure everybody's good. But there was a population of people already here before you got here, and they never took a census of who was here. And they have plenty of land, and plenty of space, and plenty of resources. So why y'all now taking head count? In the first U.S. Census taken in 1790, just 4 categories were used: white male, white female, other free persons, and slaves. Those were the only categories. And don't you think for a second you fell in that slave category. Get out your nigga mind, get out your cotton picking mind right now. You did not fall into that slave category. You fell into the other free persons. The slaves in 1790 were indentured servants. Not Africans from Africa brought on slave ships, not captured Native Americans with chains and shackles on, not picking no cotton yet, not picking no tobacco in 1790 yet. However, 1820 census, the new category was added called colored in the 1820s. Now you don't get Abbott placard till a little bit later with the one drop in the Racial Integrity Act. That comes a little bit later. We haven't got there yet. But something else was brewing in the 1800s. I should say somebody else was brewing. German scientists were becoming the lead specialists on all things supposedly dealing with race. One in particular, I think a lot of you have already seen this before, but I don't care. I'm gonna show you again. I'm gonna keep showing you until you get it. Frederick Blumenbach. Now, brother, I remember earlier you said pseudo-science. Now I'm about to talk about some pseudo-scientists. Johann Blumenbach. Was a German physician, naturalist, physiologist, anthropologist, to be the main four for zoology and anthropology as comparative scientific discipline. He is called the founder of racial classification. Please write down this founding father. Thank you to the founding fathers. This is a founding father of racial classification. It didn't even exist. You either belonged to the crown or you didn't. You either were indentured servant or you weren't. You were freeman or you were not. The idea of this race shit came up. Oh boy, I got so many. Let's just start with him. Write him down. Write him down. Johann Frederick Blumenbach. He's the founder of racial classification. They had to hurry up and get out in front of that shit. They had to make sure that they wouldn't, you know what I mean? They done discovered who they were, or still discovering where they fall on the spectrum of humanity. And they realized that what are we? We are a species. We got to create the category called species to classify so-called white folks. We don't even know who we are. We are mankind. We're not even, like, all science point to the fact that they're a degenerate of some sort, a mutant of some sort. And this isn't hatred. This is just educational purpose. This is just science. And if I got it wrong, please correct me if I got it wrong. He said, or they said, he was one of the first to explore and study of the human being as an aspect of natural history. His teachings in comparative to anatomy were applied to his classification of human race, of which he claimed there were 5 categories. Now, he coined the term Caucasian. So he said Caucasian, Mongoloid, Melanoid, Ethiopian, and American. I want you to write down 2 out of this 5. Write down Caucasian and write down American. That's all I want you to write down. Don't worry about the Ethiopian, Mongolian, and Malayan. By the way, the Mongolian and Malayan are part of the Peking Man. I didn't really show you earlier, but it's Peking and Java. If you get time, I'll go back to that in a second. But this is the 5 classifications that science just ran with for no reason. Okay? So I want you to focus on the Caucasian. Caucasian. Let's go explore the Caucasian real quick before we move on to the PowerPoint. Caucasian. What ethnicity is a Caucasian person? Europe, Middle East, or North Africa? That's a Caucasian. Geographically, Caucasians in the mountain range considered part of the natural boundary between Europe and Asia. That exact definition of its boundary vary. However, due to the culture of the socio-political factors, the region as a whole is generally viewed as part of modern Europe. What are synonyms for Caucasian? White person, white. What are white ethnic groups? Descendant of immigrants from Southern, Central, and Eastern Europe, Ireland, the Caucasian and French, whatever that Canadian word is. What are the origins of Caucasians? The word Caucasian, a rather obsolete, outdated term, actually comes from the region of the Caucasus. After a visit to the Caucasus Mountains, a German anthropologist first used the term Caucasian for a derogatory system of racial classification dating from the 18th century. This person they're talking about is Johann Blumenbacher. Because the Caucasians come from the Caucasus Mountains, they dwelled inside of caves, mountains. These are the Caucasians, the Asians from the Caucasus Mountain. Are we following that? The other classification, it says American. And keeping in mind the time frame, I'm going to go here. 1800. Definition of American. This is 1828 because we're in the 1800s. We're talking about the 1800s. I think that was like 1790 something. So maybe, well, no, the racial classifications are 1800s. Sorry. Yeah, it's 1820, 1820s. So we have to go to the dictionary of 1828. Is that fair, everybody? Is that fair that the first census was taken at that point, 1820, and this is the 1828, 8 years later, definition of American, according to the categories of, I'm sorry, I got rid of it, my bad. According to the categories of Johann Blumenbacher, which was also the 1800s, late 17th century or 1800s, all around the same time period. So collectively, I'm teaching you guys how to cluster history and put it in a spectrum. So you would say from the late 1700s to the early 1800s, there were two main categories of racial classification in America, North America, which was Caucasian and American. Check. So we go to the dictionary, look up what an American was. This is a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginal or copper-colored race found here by Europeans. So the Europeans found some other people here who were called Americans, and they had a copper-colored tone. So these were not white people who were here. These were not white people that were here. These are copper-colored race who were already here. American, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginal copper-colored races found here by Europeans, but now applies to the descendants of Europeans after born in America. Do you know how that? It says, but now it applies to Europeans. That was under the Naturalization Act I first showed you. That's how the term American applied to them, because they absorbed your nationality through what's called the Naturalization Act. They absorbed your nationality, gave you a false nationality, or it was called a misnomer. In 1820, they changed you to colored. Because, yeah, remember in the definition itself, copper-colored people. Take off the word copper and call them colored people. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened. And when we talk about they stole your birthright, Jacob. In 1850, census slaves were listed by owners as B to indicate black, while M indicated mulatto. 1890 census categories, races were white, black, mulatto, quadroon, octroon, Chinese, Japanese, or American Indian. 1930. Now I'm gonna tell you about 1890, why the 1890 census changed on y'all. The 1890 census, the categories of race were white, black, mulatto, quadroon, octoroon. Now the octoroon, the quadroon, all that right there is the mulatto. Those were the interfaces of white or black politicians having interracial marriages, interracial relationships with the help. Okay, that's what they came in at. Now, they also say at the end, they say Chinese, Japanese, or American Indian. Now, the reason you see Chinese, Japanese, then American Indian, because the Native American Indian were introduced to North America at that time. This is the 1849 gold rush, 1898, 1834, and a couple hundred years before that. This is when the Bering Straits. Now, watch this. Watch, I'll take you back to remember earlier I told you that word. I didn't really go into that word. To that word, Peking Man. I showed you Java Man, but I didn't show you Peking Man. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know why this shit don't let me go in. Sometimes I think it'd be hating on me, man. It'd be hating on me. There we go. All right, my bad. Here we go. I had to find it. Now, this is called the Peking Man. I said Peking. Peking Man. Write down Peking Man. Write down the Peking Man. What kind of human is the Peking Man? Homo erectus, he is. This hominoid lived around 400,000 years ago and came to be known as the Peking Man. What region was the Peking Man mostly in? Peking Man, which is the modern northern China. China, yes, China. In 1921, around the same time that Dr. Leakey and his wife had discovered Xanthopus, this was a manhunt to find out the origin of species. These are the evolutionary chart was not satisfied by Darwin's theory. This has been an ongoing thing. You guys do know that Charles Darwin gave you the idea, modern science influenced mostly by Darwin's theory of evolution, survival of the species. This is about genetic survival, by any means necessary. 1921, the Zukiatis, I can't say that word, the Z word right here, cave had become most productive H. erectus site in the world. Peking Man was instrumental to the foundation of the Chinese anthropology and fostered the important dialogue between Western and Eastern science for decades. The fossils became this century of anthropological discussion, and were classified as a direct human ancestor popping up and out of Asia. Hypothesis that humans evolved in Asia. Peking Man also played a vital role on the reconstructing of the Chinese identity following the Chinese Communist Revolution. Peking Man inbreeding with human ancestors and frequently discovered, especially in Chinese circles. Peking Man inbreeding with humans. This wasn't even a human. This is the origin of Chinese people. Like I showed you the origin of the European through the Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal. And they tried to find our origin, but they only find Tangentificus or Deepnish or Lucy. And they gave us the 1.2 million years old. We're super duper old compared to them. Let's see if they can give us a roundabout time frame. It says the Peking Man inhabited that area, those caves, Estimate back at 780,000 years ago to recent 230,000 years. So they're compared to the 1.2 million years. They're pretty young. All right. I'm gonna flashback to this real quick and we're gonna wrap it up. The point I was making was it went from Chinese to Japanese to American Indian because those were the individuals who came into America around the 1800s. What am I talking about? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Sometimes I be thinking to myself, like, I wish y'all could talk back to me on here like in real time. And maybe I set up a Zoom. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna schedule a Zoom. I'm gonna send out an email to everybody. So that's why it's important. It could be $1. Shoot me your email. I'm trying to collect y'all emails so I can start sending you guys correspondence. We can start doing our own proper Zoom sessions too. And it always got to be for the public. You feel me? Let's see. 1890. Let me show you. It's about migrations and immigrants and stuff like that. This was the Wounded Knee Massacre. This is 1890, Native American Massacre. So at the same time they're showing you the Census Bureau, they're also eradicating people too. See, these are the Mongoloids, the Mongolian people of the Western frontier. These are Asian people. Mongoloids. They don't look like they're Mexican. They're not part of the Toltec dynasty. These are Asiatics. From Asia. Oriental. So while in 1890 they were taking a census of who was all here, is also were massacring these so-called people. So I don't know how they took count and it was killing them. 1930 census, anyone with any black blood. This is called the Racial Integrity Act. These are policies backing up all these different censuses that is coming out every supposed 10 years. It's the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, actually. That's what it is. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924. Racial Integrity Act 1924 was a Racial Integrity Act was passed in Virginia in 1924. A new law prohibited interracial marriages, unshared in a long period of discrimination, racial designation administered by the government. Walter Ashford Plecker, who also later introduces the one-drop law or one-drop rule. But he first wanted to prohibit any Negro sleeping with any white folks, because that reduces their genome pool, their species, because of Mendel's law. He was on here earlier. Mendel's law says you can get the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessive, meaning you can get a black baby from a white lady, but you can't get a white lady from a black, you get a white baby from a black woman, which is called albinoidism. Anything going to white woman gonna be black, period. Dark is dominant. So he had to quickly outlaw any type of habit. Now that was broken later by Loving versus Virginia. But Walter actually goes on further and introduced what's called the one-drop law, or the one-drop rule. The one-drop rule was a legal principle of racial classification, which we know racial classification is a bunch of hogwash any goddamn way, right? The whole idea of trying to classify people by race is crazy. The one drop rule was a legal principle of racial classification that was prominent in the early 20th century, it's the 1900s. It asserted that any person with even one ancestor of black blood, of one ancestor of black ancestry, one drop, black blood, is considered black, Negro, or colored in historical terms. It is an example of hypodescent. Hypodescent. In society that regard some races or ethnic groups of people as dominant or superior and others subordinate or inferior, hypodescent refers to the automatic assignment of children of a mixed union to the subordinate group. This opposed practice of hyperdescent, which allows children to be associated with the dominant group. So you were hypodescendant under this rule. It goes on to say this concept became codified into law of some of the U.S. states in the early 20th century, and was associated with the principle of invisible blackness that developed after a long history of racial interaction in the South, which had included the hardening of slavery as a racial caste system and later segregation. Before the rule was outlawed by Supreme Court Loving versus Virginia in 1967, it was used to prevent interracial marriages in general, to deny rights and equal opportunity, to uphold white supremacy. Census Bureau. Walter Plecker. So I'm gonna take my lead right here on that, but the slide goes on and on. You want your copy of this slide? Shoot some change to the Cash App, and I got you. Appreciate y'all. What's happening? It's been real. Hit the Cash App. Share this. Share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. I wouldn't even doubt it. You don't even know. Now, just by, we didn't really dig into it, but just by showing it a little bit right there, now when you hear the word determined, say, the Asiatic black man, the owner, the maker, the cream of the earth, and his father of this universe, it starts making a little bit of sense how old we are as a people. When you read Genesis, it makes another point of who we are in Genesis. Appreciate it, big dog. Most people only know the teeth of Pangea, but in fact, that's occurred allegedly 5 times. I would not doubt that. I would not doubt that. Appreciate you, Islam. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Empress, by your leave, I'm gonna go ahead and exit. Appreciate y'all, man. Share. Smash the subscribe button.